number of you have written in and asked about the Queen Sirikit Breast Centre. You've asked us, in fact, is it possible for foreigners to go? You've also asked us, what is the latest? Are the numbers or the incidence of breast cancer rising? And you've also asked about chemotherapy. Now, we're going to cover a couple of those topics today, but we are very fortunate to have the founder and director of the Queen Sirikit Breast Centre with us. I'm talking, of course, about the gentleman you know so well, Dr. Krit Jatamrat. Thanks for joining us. Very nice to have you on the program.
I apologise for being late.
No, please don't, not at all. Firstly, if we look at the incidence of breast cancer in Thailand, as I understand it, it is on the increase.
It is on the increase, but I think you need to put it in the proper context. Now, this is a pet subject of mine. If you take, it happened to me. I was giving a talk on breast cancers, the worldwide and the problems. And one night I took the world map out, and I looked at the entire world, and it just dawned on me that if you take the starting point in London, in Greenwich, Greenwich Mean Time,
yes,
and you draw a line right across it toward Asia and toward Thailand, and go on to Japan. If you do that, you can see a trend, a dropping trend. And Thailand and Japan is among the lowest.
Is that correct?
Among the lowest. So your question was, is it rising? It is rising, but it's rising on the background, the basic background of low incidence.
Right. So
if you compare with European, it's still low.
Now, what about you? When we talk about Japan and Thailand, everyone says the incidence of heart and cancer in Japan is very low because of the food they eat. Maybe another issue, but why would Thailand be in the same bracket as the Japanese, per se?
Could I turn the other way around? That if you were born from Japanese or Thai parents, and you live locally, and you compare the incidence of breast cancer of another person born from, say, a British parents and living in London, you will find, of course, the incidence of breast cancer of the people in London is much higher than here. But if you turn it around, if you take the children of the Japanese parent or the Thai parent and then living in London, the incidence of breast cancer amongst these people would be higher than the Thai or Japanese people living here.
So it's environment, is it?
No.
Pressure?
You're a highly intelligent lady. You can work it out. Now, this little study, it has an awful lot of implications.
Indeed it
Think
does,
about it.
yes.
It's got genetic, it's got environment, it's got food, it's all sorts of things. I tell you another thing, which is a pet subject of mine. My wife has a project going into the underprivileged areas in the slum. Now, we've been doing it for about 10 years now. Now, we've collected data from patients, women living in these areas. If I ask you to guess, if the incidence of breast cancer among these people, would you think they'd be higher, same, or lower than average? What would you guess?
I would think they'd be lower than average.
Absolutely right. They're extremely low.
Therefore, it's not necessarily the environment. It might be the intake of the food.
I don't know what it is.
But it's interesting, isn't it?
But their food is rubbish.
Not clean, you would think.
And they're living in this condition, and they're stressed out.
Well, exactly.
And they're tired. So why are they
So
low?
what is your conclusion through all of this? Because there's no set answer, is there?
I'm a scientist.
Yes,
so
you are
therefore
indeed.
I'm not going to guess. But I throw it to you.
Yes, indeed.
This is, and I also, as you know, I also have patients from different sort of social strata.
Yes.
The higher ones have a much higher incidence of breast cancer than these people from the underprivileged areas.
And as a scientist, do you put any conclusion to that?
Well, we have been going through our figures, our data. I can't give you the answer. It's not it's not stress, it's not living environment, unless you're saying that clean living is promoting breast cancer.
We wouldn't think so. That's not what we've been led to believe.
But I don't know.
Isn't
But
it
I think it's
interesting?
one of the most fascinating piece of information which we've collected, and it is unique. It's not in the textbook,
Interesting.
but we collect over 1,000 cases or 1,000 people from Islam, but we have very few number of breast
Incidents.
cancer in these people.
It's incredible, isn't it? Because you would think about all the reasons why it should be worse, but it's not. So if we actually look about the fact that you can't say you will get it because your risk is high, you will get it, other than perhaps genetic, is that correct?
Yeah, I think you have to again be very careful, because a lot of doctors put awful lot of stress on patient about genetic. The input of genetic in breast cancer, of course, is there, but it's not as big or as great as what most people imagine. It is there, but there's a genetic element, but not that much.
It's not a high proportion thereof.
It's there. You can't ignore it. But if you talk about food, of course, obese people get a little bit more breast cancer, but it's not worth losing 10 kilos to
Not to
prevent
get
breast
it.
cancer.
Exactly. So if we also look at the fact that in age groups,
Yeah.
the incidence of breast cancer used to be people over 50 were getting a higher rate. But we're hearing now about younger people too.
Yeah, I think you live in Thailand, therefore automatically the incidence of breast cancer among the Asians, the Thais, the highest incidence will be in the 40s. It's 10 years younger than European.
European, exactly. And again, there's no rhyme or reasoning behind that.
I think this must be purely genetic.
Genetic.
That's my guess. Okay.
Now, when we actually look at the Queen Sirikit Breast Centre and we look at the fact of the people that you have going there, whether I'm a foreigner, whether I'm a Thai, you're open to all. Is that correct?
I think I'm so pleased that you asked me this. When we first had the concept of the Queen Sirikit Breast Cancer Centre, the first thing we wanted to put down on paper was this is open to all women. And Her Majesty, when we first raised this question, she said, I want it to be a sanctuary for all women in need.
That is very
and it
special.
still remains the same.
It's the same today.
And it's I'm of course I'm biased, but it is probably the best equipped center compared with any center in Asia. Certainly the best in Thailand.
And if we go the best in Asia, then in fact, clearly you've actually got a team of doctors working with you also that are very highly qualified.
Well, we have a clinician, surgeon, we have diagnostic radiologists, which compared with the best anywhere. I've been away for 32 years, so
Indeed.
I know what I'm talking about. And on top of that, I think we are very patient-centered. Every new breast cancer patient coming to our Queen Sirikit Centre had a special nurse looking after that patient. I was just being, inverted comma, attacked by one of the doctors at Chula. She said, are all your patients so special that your special nurse come and bash me every time that this patient come to the clinic? Because what we're doing is that our special nurse will look at the patient, will look at the record, and if there's anything at all which is out of the ordinary, she will alert the physician who's in charge. And if the patient failed to turn up for, say, a mammography, she would then find out why. And I think
So it's patient focused,
Oh,
isn't
yeah,
it?
very much
much so.
But-
If we look at the actual, women, I would hope, are coming to you a lot sooner than they used to. Is that generally, or we still got people who don't really check as much as they should, despite everything that we hear we should do?
I think the trouble is, you don't have any problem. You're highly intelligent, you know what I mean. But still, in this country. That's why we do have this campaign you see
Yes.
in the magazine, the early detection.
Exactly.
This campaign come from us. We spend quite a bit of money.
You did indeed.
And try to educate the general Thais that this disease, if it's detected early, if it's treated properly, it is potentially curable. A lot of people still think breast cancer it's death. It isn't. It isn't.
But it's getting to it early enough and actually taking that action. So your recommendation to the ladies watching the program, or the husbands who are thinking, my wife hasn't been for a while, annually?
I think, annually, anyone above 40 should seriously think about having an annual check of some sort.
Mammogram or whatever it may be.
And can I just quickly say that there's a lot of talks, a lot of nonsense talking about, the problems of mammography, it hurts, irradiation. All these are insignificant.
It's insignificant to the actual reason you're coming, which is to see if you've got breast cancer or not, surely. And let me tell you, it does hurt a bit, but you know what? If that's 1 minute and it saves you from breast cancer, why would you worry about 1 minute?
Could I also add to your comment?
Yes.
Is that a lot of the hospitals or the clinics may say to the patient, look, we can do a mammography without hurting you. If you go to a hospital or a clinic and it doesn't hurt, ask for your money back.
They haven't done their
They
job.
haven't done it properly.
Yes. The fact you can't breathe is another story. So what we'd like to do, Dr. Priddy, is that come to actually the Queen Sirikit Breast Cancer Centre and actually come with you and go through it.
I go there early. Come and have breakfast with me.
All right, we will do, because
We have coffee and croissant.
Lovely. I think the fact that we can actually see the equipment, we wanted to do the pre-run, but whilst we're there, we'd also like to talk about, who in fact needs the radiotherapy, who needs the chemotherapy. All these things go around in people's mind. I don't know why this then stops them from going and having a mammogram, but it does. So, it would be really nice.
I think your program would help to dispel a lot of the inverted commas, the myths
Exactly.
about breast cancer. There's a lot of it around.
Right.
So I'd be delighted. I'm looking forward to have breakfast with you.
Thank you, I do too. I'll wait for 2 weeks for you. Dr. Quid, thank you very much.
Not at all.
Thank you.
Inspired by the beauty and delicacy of Thai fabrics, Naraya launched their line with soft, stylish, and feminine design, offering handbags to kitchen and children products and much, much more. Because of their unique fabric print design, Naraya has been well known amongst locals and tourists since 1989.